Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Clinic Dream Radio. I'm your host, Dr. Josh Satterlee, and it's my pleasure today to be joined by the best PGA Pro in all of the Midwest, Maureen Olson. How are you, Maureen?
I'm good. Thank you for that introduction, Josh.
My pleasure. And Maureen, for those people listening, it's rare that we interview a PGA Pro. We've done it a couple times, but can you give everybody kind of an overview of what you do day to day, and maybe even define what is a PGA Pro versus a PGA Tour professional versus a golf instructor, et cetera?
Yeah, absolutely. So being a PGA Class A professional, what that entails is I went through the PGA of America's curriculum to become a professional. So working on different things from tournament operations to food and beverage and teaching all of those different types of things. And you can then pick what route you want to go into business. And I have chosen in time to be a teaching professional. So, and I like to define it, I'm a golf professional, not a professional golfer. So the professional golfer would be like the Tiger Woods, right? He's on tour making a living to golf, where I'm making a living by helping others golf or running a golf shop, things like that. So I like to, I hate the definition teaching pro. I actually like to consider myself a golf coach. I'm a coach. I don't believe in the like lesson. Somebody comes to me for a lesson and then see you later. I like to look at it as a holistic approach, and I want to be there and be there for them.
So you're a Class A professional coaching pro.
Yes, that's how I like to define myself. Yes. So,
awesome. Okay.
Yeah, definitely. So I teach golf full time for a living, day in and day out. People come to me, whether it's clinics or camps or one-on-one or small group. That's what I do all day.
That's awesome, because I think there's a lot of similarities between that and the folks listening who are running some exercise classes and treating people, and they do it in, one-on-one, small group, large group, all that, clinics. So, I want to dive into this now. For those people who have never met you, which is really their loss. I mean, that's really what's going on. But the folks that haven't met you, where are you based out of, and kind of what kind of facility are you at?
Absolutely. So I am in the Kansas City area. I'm in a suburb of Kansas City called Overland Park. It's a very affluent area in Johnson County is. So I'm at two municipal golf courses, or public, however you want to qualify that. And what that means is the two facilities that I'm at which are actually located a mile apart from each other. So they're very close, which makes it convenient for me. That anyone can come to our facilities. There's no restrictions. And then also in the golf business, there would be semi-private, which they have some memberships, but some public play. And then there's also private country clubs, which means you have to have a membership to even step foot on property. So I'm at a public facility. Yeah.
All right. And for those listening going, why the heck are you interviewing Maureen? I am of the firm belief that there is a gold mine in every community that has golf courses that people aren't tapping into. And Maureen confirmed this by her actions and her discussions we've had. So I want to cover kind of the story of how we met and how we started working together, and also what it led to, because I think a lot of people are sitting there taking the approach that all the other dummies who approached you did, which is all about them. And we'll talk a little crap about that, because it frustrates me. But so you've been working there at OP, the Overland Park Golf Course, for how long?
This is my sixth year, I think. Okay. Yep.
And your team, when you comprise all the instructors, is responsible for how many lessons a year?
Oh man, thousands. So if you look at rounds of golf played, meaning between two facilities, two golf courses, we have 120,000 rounds of golf played per year. Okay. And then lessons, I can't really qualify that, but I mean, I alone teach over 1,500 lessons a year. So, and then I have a staff as well that are also teaching, not to that level or degree, one or two do, but we teach a lot of golf here.
Yeah, it was hard to keep up with you. So you got 120,000 rounds being played at the two facilities that you're at. Yep. And when I met you, which is just a year ago?
Yep. Just over a year ago. Yeah.
A year ago, you did not have a true working relationship with a chiropractor, PT, personal trainer, anybody like that, right?
No.
And besides my good looks, which obviously opened up the door.
Killer charm.
That's right. Yeah, of course.
Yes.
But how did our relationship start? Like, how was I able to break down all those barriers and approach you?
Well, we had somebody put us in contact with one another.
So a mutual friend, yeah.
Our mutual friend. And then I believe you sent me an email and asked if I'd want to get together and chat over coffee. And so we got together and we chatted over coffee.
So we went to a Starbucks, met, and had a meeting, right?
Correct.
Now, that flourished into a lot, but how had other people and I'm not saying that I'm doing this right. All I'm trying to illustrate for people is like our relationship, which I think is awesome, is from humble beginnings. Like it literally was over a cup of coffee. Yeah.
Right.
And we just had the same kind of outlook and we agreed, hey,
let's be honest. I'm going to throw Nolan in there. And had it not been for him and his Nebraska contacts, I don't know that we would be where we are today, but
you did roll up with the big red license plate frame, right?
Yeah. No. Yes. Humble beginnings is pretty simple. Yes.
Yeah. I think a lot of people are intimidated to approach somebody, but just saying, hey, you want to go grab a coffee? I want to talk to you about working with some of your clients, or I want to talk about building a relationship. Right. How had other people approached you up to that point? Because I love your story about, I'm sure there were other chiropractors and physical therapists.
We get a lot of, I think chiropractors, PTs that come in and we'll give a flyer, right? Or a couple business cards, or maybe send an email and say, hey, do you, this is what I do. I open business, feel free to send people my way, or, let me know if you'd be interested in coming to me or something. And I those have not worked out. Those have not panned out at all.
Yeah. I mean, it's like all about them rather than all about you, right?
Correct.
And it'd be like going to a bar and being like, ladies, me standing up on a bar and saying, you're all welcome to sleep with me. Like the take rate on that's going to be pretty low.
I mean, probably.
Again, the good looks, the charm.
The good looks and killer charm. But,
okay. Not as high. Yeah. But if first I'm like, hey, can I buy you a drink? And I start talking. And if we don't agree on a bunch of stuff, that's okay. I just was out the drink. So if you and I hadn't agreed on a lot of stuff at that coffee, or I didn't agree with your approach, that'd be fine. Like it was $7 worth of coffee or whatever, Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that worked. And you are a TPI devout, you believe in their model, you believe in the concept, you work.
Absolutely.
But you didn't have anybody that was offering the resources to do those things.
Nope.
But you had a need, you had a desire in yourself, and you had the need for your clients, right?
Yes. Yes. I mean, I could go into every golfer needs somebody. Like everyone has some sort of pain or characteristic that is not allowing them to do the sport as efficiently as they could be.
Which also means it's tougher to sell them lessons, right? Because they get frustrated. Like, oh, every time I play, I hurt my back, or every time I do this, my elbow hurts. So you as a person that makes your living getting people to essentially play more golf and get more entrenched with golf, like, you run into that and that affects your ability to make more money, right? I would imagine.
And it does. And, a lot of the times, which can I help somebody get better without working on the physical side of that? Absolutely. That's the skill portion, right? And I would be more considered the skill coach. But, and this is where the TPI model comes into place. Are they going to get better faster with longer lasting results and play without pain and play longer because their bodies are working better? Yes. So like if I can get, which I'm a pretty convincing person, if I can get buy-in right from the student of, hey, we got a holistic approach to how we approach your golf swing and your game, and part of it is how you move, right? And that hasn't been at the forefront of the golf community, in the past until I would say the last, 5 to 10 years. And even now I still run into people that don't have that buy-in, but, if you have a good coach, right, they're going to say, hey, in order to get you to your goals, it would behoove you to work with chiropractor, physical therapist, fitness trainer, and or all of the above, and we get you better faster and we get better results.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
So there definitely is a need out there in almost every golf community I've ever seen. Would you agree? Like,
Yeah.
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 And I mean, how big is Kansas City metro area? Million and a half, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
How many? You're pretty well entrenched in that community. How many golf specific training facilities or PT or Chiro offices do you know of in that area?
2 to 3.
Okay. I mean, there's a couple around, but certainly not enough that it's a competition of where are you going to send that person. It's just who you have a relationship with, right?
Correct.
Yeah, it's crazy. So,
well, and like people stay in their bubbles too, like if they need, like if I tell them to drive across town, which is what we'll talk about later, they will, but they don't want to. They want to stay in their little pocket in their bubbles. And, this bubble that I'm in, there's nobody here.
Right. Which is insane to me. It's crazy. So yeah, we met and we started talking about this and worked with a couple of clients, and we did some days where I came out and worked with some folks. What was the response of those people? So what I'm trying to get at is, like, the people listening here, what I'm hoping they do is if they have any interest whatsoever in golf, they go out there, meet a golf pro. You might have to meet 5 to find the right one. They meet one, and that person jives on the TPI mentality of a team approach, and go out and work an afternoon of let's just assess a bunch of people and see if we can help them out at all, which is kind of what we did. We took an afternoon, right? And what you scheduled, like 4 people.
Yep.
And brought them out. And I kind of had the approach of, like, I don't pay me. Like, I just want to see if we can do anything. And literally set up on the driving range. If anybody has taken the the TPI course, there's a lat test, and we actually did that on the trunk of a tree. Like, we didn't have any building. Yeah, we didn't have a wall or a building or anything, so we did that on the trunk of a tree. But what was the response of people like that? I mean, what did your clients say?
They loved it. Number one, it makes me look really good as the golf pro. Hey, can you come out here? I have this, awesome thing that I want you to be a part of. And they loved it. They loved understanding that body swing connection, like truly how it works. So I can tell them and I can show them, various very simplistic exercises. But when it comes down to, hey, here's what we've been trying to do from a skill standpoint. Here's what Josh just did to help to work on those things. And then they like put it in action, and it is totally like mind blowing to them to be like, oh, I can feel what you've been asking me to do. Oh my gosh, this is a game changer. Or, oh my gosh, I don't hurt. Like, I mean, the buy-in that they have going forward for the team approach is, I mean, it's not even a question.
So afterwards, all those people were willing to continue and sign up for more lessons, more sessions, whatever you want to call that.
Yes.
That's awesome. Yeah. I mean, I thought it was super fun too. Like, just getting your hands on and actually being out there in the sun on the driving range.
Right.
I think I always tell people.
I mean, Josh, I thought that you guys just really liked to be in offices and fluorescent lighting all day long. Right.
Well, that day I remember I was sweating my cojones off. So I would have liked air conditioning in that moment, but like an indoor-outdoor hitting bay would have been perfect. But
yeah. But, vitamin D is good for everyone.
That's right. Yeah. But it was super fun. And I always say, like, it separates the men from the boys in the fact of, like, because that really gets down to what can you do right now, right here on the range with what you got. I mean, you can't be like, well, I need let's do a 50-meter sled push, and then let me grab this cable column machine. It's like, yeah, we ain't got that. Like,
like I don't even know what you're saying to me right now.
Yeah, but it's in our world. I think that one of the coolest parts about being a chiropractor is, like, it's hands-on. You got your hands and a table, and that's basically all we had. We had our hands, table, a RX pad, a couple bands.
Yeah.
And you can do everything right there, which is one thing in the world of medicine. There's a lot of ways that, people, like orthopedic surgeons, your cousin's an orthopedic surgeon, right? And it's like, they certainly get paid more than we do, and they have a lot of prestige. But at that moment, I don't think there's anything an orthopedic surgeon could have done out on that range right now with what you got. And so it's like a time to shine,
Right.
And I love that.
Oh, yeah. It's immediate.
So if you had your way, I mean, unfortunately, I live in Las Vegas, you live in Kansas City, but if you had your way, what would be the ultimate setup for you? So for those like young doctors listening and thinking about the Nolans out there, Nolan opened up in Omaha, which is, I mean, life's really going downhill when you open up in Omaha, right?
I think you.
I mean, anywhere in Nebraska.
It's really, really awesome for him now.
Yeah, he's I guess in your mind, the closer he can get to Lincoln, the better, right?
Right. Yeah. Memorial Stadium. Yeah.
But if you think about that young Cairo that's in that, they're thinking about where they want to go and what they want to do, what would be the ultimate setup for you as a coaching pro to have a relationship to have with that young chiropractor or physical therapist?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, going back to, the meet, and I will, let me put this out there to all of the chiropractors listening or trainers listening. Golf pros are very hard to get a hold of. So persistence is key, especially somebody like myself who's on the driving range, 12 hours a day. The priority after you get home at 8 o'clock at night and eat some dinner and shower and then go to bed is not to answer emails. So,
and one thing for everybody listening to that I've learned with golf pros is they basically want to make hay while the sun shines. And I literally mean the sun shines. Like in the winter, you can't start till your first lesson's at 7 or 8.
Well, I'm indoors. So I have more. I mean, it's 8 degrees outside here. Yeah. I feel like I'm -2.
But in the summer, if you have sunlight from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m., you want to use as much of that as you can, right?
Yes.
Because you ain't going to make that much in the summer and if there's snow on the ground and things. Sorry, thank you. Yeah. Out here, it's the summer.
Yeah.
Nobody teaches in the summer, but they make it all in the winter. So,
yeah.
So hard to get a hold of, but if they break through all that, let's give a shout out to Ryan Prosser, who was incredibly
persistent. He's awesome. Yeah.
He's incredibly persistent, if nothing else.
Yeah. He totally, so he's persistent, and at one point he knows we're out there sweating our, asses off, and he brings us, me and my assistant at the time, who he had also met, Gatorade. And because he knew I love, whatever. And so he just put it on my desk with a note, thanks for, letting me come watch the other day. I'd love to help out. Let me know how I can help out, and had Gatorade. Hello, that's awesome. And it's thoughtful. So,
so what the good Lord didn't give him in height, he made up with hard work.
Yeah, exactly. Well, so he was super persistent. So you get through all of that, and then from there, it's really, the ideal setup would be that we have open communication, that I can allow, or I'm able to call on that person if I have a student that needs some help that I feel like could use their services, and just make that introduction for them. What would be even more ideal is that person coming out to the driving range and seeing the client in action. And the first initial meeting, I guess, could be in the office for evaluation and things like that, but just to also come out, and that also shows the student that you're invested not just in taking their money, but hey, I want to see the results. I want to see you getting better, and just having that open dialogue. I use a shout out here to Coach Now app. That I have the working relationship that I do now have in town. I just add the coach to that. And now he is seeing the videos that I'm posting of the students. He can post videos of how the student might be moving better, or can do, one of the screens better, like a before and after. So we're all working together, open dialogue, open communication, for that student. And then they see it. They're like, I have these two people that care about me. They're not both just trying to take my money and see you next week. And I think that's really important.
Hey, are you looking for the best exercise equipment available? Well, I think that you got to check out Perform Better. PerformBetter.com is a huge supporter of everything that is the Clinic Gym Hybrid. They are actually one of the biggest supporters of the FMS and the SFMA program. And I can't say enough great things about their 3-day summit. So if you're interested in some education every summer, they do their 3-day summits in Orlando, Chicago, Providence, and Long Beach. Long Beach is my favorite. That's where I go. But the speakers there will absolutely blow your mind. So check out PerformBetter.com, whether you need bands, mini bands, equipment, flooring, or their 3D design capabilities. I think it's fantastic stuff. So check out PerformBetter.com.
Coach Now is one of these apps where you can film a lesson and say, hey, we're trying to for example, we're trying to get this player more on their left side at impact. And then the strength coach can be like, all right, to, help with that lead leg impact position. We've been doing this, lunge chop pattern thing that drives it home, and then and film that. And then the clinician, the chiropractor, physical therapist can say like, oh yeah, we realized we needed a needle and loosen up that left hip. And so we did these things in the gym. They can in the clinic, they send that all in to you. But in that, I think one of the cool things, that player, that client, that person, the golfer now feels like $1 million, right? They got 3 people basically fawning over them for 3 hours a week or 6 hours a week or whatever it is.
Right.
And they're like, whoa, this is so cool.
Oh, absolutely. And, if that client is walking away with something from you, they're going to come back to you. It might not be maybe next week or whatever, but they walk away. The very first thing I do anytime I meet somebody is the first thing is we set them up on this app. And so everything that I do with them is on there. And then they walk home and they're like, oh my gosh, like I got all this stuff from my coach and this coach cares about me. And this coach said that I can post videos of myself practicing and she'd comment on it. Like, of course they're going to want to have that relationship with you. They're not going to be like, oh, I didn't really like her, him. I'm going to go try somebody else out. They're walking away with something from you that's tangible.
Yeah. And there's continuity through all those things. So everybody looks even better than they do alone, Right. Yeah. I remember working with you one time in your new indoor facility, and you had an older gentleman. This most recent time, I can't remember his name.
Mike.
Mike. Yeah. It doesn't narrow it down to say older gentleman because this is golf, for God's sakes.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But Mike, and he made a comment that I think blew away a lot of the young students we had shadowing that day, which was, we kind of loosened him up a little bit and changed some things. And how's he doing now, by the way?
Good. He actually, he fell over Christmas. So he has, so we're taking a little break right now, but up until then he was doing really well. Good.
Cause he's a guy that, he wants to play and practice every day, right? He's a range rat. Like you can't get him off the range.
Right. Yeah. He's committed. Yeah.
Yeah. He said, I joined this country club just because I get free range balls. I was laughing.
Right.
I guess that's one reason. Yeah. Forget the dining and the facilities. Free range balls. But so we worked on him, and he's an older guy with tons of mobility issues. You may never solve them by the time, he passes away. But I think there's a good goal there. And he made the comment to someone when I asked him, like, how often would you like to come in? And do you remember his response?
Every day.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? Or something like that?
It was every day. Yeah. He said, I'd love to come in every day. And he said, like, I'm retired. I've, made some money, and this is what I want to get. This is what I want to do. This is what I want to get good at. Well, I think it's important for these young listeners to hear, and maybe not even young listeners, people that are looking for a great market, because golf gets overlooked, but man, you got guys that do have the money to do that. They know, and it's easy to measure. Like yesterday I hit my 5-iron, 170 yards, and today I'm hitting at 173. And the only difference is I had a lesson with Maureen. Like, obviously that's a improvement, just a blatant improvement,
Right. And so I'm going to give the example. I'm going to throw a shout out to Tom Teeter, who is the gentleman who I now work with. The only problem is Tom does not live in our bubble. Tom's, his practice is across town. And so
we just interviewed Tom on the podcast here.
Oh, did you? Okay.
I asked him how it was getting into the game of golf. So
yeah, because Tom is not a golfer. He doesn't, but he is now very immensely engorged in this game. And he, so I send people to him now. I think probably at least 15 to 20 in a 6-month time frame, by the way. And he and I are doing a Fit for Golf class, which we can cover in a little bit. But so two examples. One of the gals that came to me, she was like, Maureen, I hadn't seen her in a while. And she goes, hey, like, I just want to let you know I'm in for a lesson, but for the past, 6 months, I've been really struggling to the point I think I have to give up the game. I'm in so much pain. Like, I've been to orthopedic surgeons. I've been to doctors, and I have an inversion table now, chiropractors, PTs, you name it. Like, I have done it. Right. And she also had some internal gut stuff too, but it was this pain that she was like, I don't know if I can play. I go, hey, at the end of the day, you have nothing to lose. I work with this chiropractor who kind of has a different approach to the business maybe than what you've been seeing, it sounds like. Would you mind just going and checking them out? She's like, at the end of the day, no, like, fine, I got nothing to lose. Why not? And so she went over to him, literally emailed me and said, or the next time I saw her, I go, so how'd it go? She goes, Maureen, my butt wasn't turned on. Tom figured this out, like, turned on my butt muscle. That's in her words, right? And she's like, and now I don't hurt anymore. I'm like, all right. So now we're playing golf, and then I have another and she's in probably her 60s. And then I have this, just recently I had a student who he took one lesson last year and then life got crazy. And so he's like, okay, this winter I want to try it again, business purposes and everything. I played a lot this summer and now I want to work on my game. I was like, all right, well, so I take him through a screen, TPI screen, and he can't even bending over, given in his 30s, young kids, like barely touch his knees, right? And his back pain is so bad all the time. Like there's days where he just has to lay on the couch afterwards, right? It just movement in general. Well, I was like, same thing. Hey, will you just go see my guy? Like, again, you have nothing to lose, blah, blah, blah. So he goes over, sees him. He and Tom worked a couple times. After 2 or 3 appointments, he can now touch his toes. He has literally no back pain. He goes, Tom never once adjusted me. Like what I think of as sense of going to a chiropractor, getting adjusted. He never once did that. Oh, and by the way, Tom did say, and Tom followed up with this as well, he doesn't want me hitting balls for these couple weeks. And I said, that's totally fine. And I knew that, like, yes, is that revenue away from me for 3 weeks? Yes, but on the back end of it, I have a client for life. And so totally fine. So he comes back in just 2 days ago. And I was like, let's just take it slow. You haven't hit balls. Literally, we worked together for 15 minutes. He added 35 yards to his 7-iron. Wow. He worked with me for 30 minutes and 3 to 4 sessions with Tom, 35 yards. Like, unbelievable. And he's a 8 or 41-year-old guy, like,
for anybody listening,
it's amazing.
There is no golfer walking the earth that wouldn't love that improvement. I'm talking, I don't care if Dustin Johnson or Tiger Woods, right? If you offer that to them, or you offer that to Little Miss Johnson, who just picked up the game last year and is, putting around her local women's league, every single one of them would kill for 35 yards on their mid irons. Like, that's crazy. Well, guys, and it makes my job easy. Like, did I do much? No, I worked with him for 15 to 20 minutes. And just because now we can do the motion better, like, right. And so I don't want to get all technical on this, but because we're now able to rotate and move and function better and without pain and that protection mechanism that he's always had, I was able to work with him. It clicked like this. He was a past baseball player, collegiate baseball player. So he understands movement. And it was easy for me, right? And now it's fun, and now he's having fun. And I said, we're only going to work for 35 minutes today. Let's see how you are tomorrow. He emails me first thing, 8 a.m. the next day. I'm in 0 pain. That's awesome. Perfect. Yeah. So, I mean, it's a no-brainer. And that person, and not only does Tom now have a client for life, but how many people is this gentleman, young, fit, athletic guy, going to say, oh my gosh, this guy was amazing, you have to go to him, like, da-da-da-da. Like, so again, you hope he plays with, you hope he plays with some people he's played with before and whoops the hell out of them. Heck, and they go, dude, what happened? It's like, oh, well, Maureen and Tom, like, they're my team, and just as nonchalant about it. And then people be banging down your door. So it's awesome. Absolutely. That's awesome. And I'm sure it's more rewarding as a coach, right? Because I do see these people giving the same lesson 100 times over. I'm like, dude, you're asking that guy to get onto his left hip. He cannot physically do it. You may as well talk to the wall. Like the wall will change before that dude will. Well, and that's where you go to Savannah. She and I, you worked with her that very first time, and Savannah and I had been working on early extension and, just some different things like that. And we'd tried some different things, some exercises and drills, but you actually helping her to turn on her glutes, right? And to, what does that feel like? What is it like to turn them on? Do you remember how she just stopped, turned and looked at me, and she's like, I now feel
what is supposed to be happening. She's like,
Right.
this is amazing.
All those lessons you've been giving me for the last weeks now make sense,
Yes. Yeah. So
yeah, that's awesome.
And I don't know anyone that gets into this job because we don't love to help people and make them feel better, right?
Yes.
Like I think like that's why I'm a coach. I want to help people feel better and play better and live a happier, more fulfilled life. And like you're doing that, and you're doing it with something they love, right? They are passionate. Every golfer is so passionate about this, and you're actually able to help that. It's so rewarding.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, that's what's rewarding to me is like actually doing it and seeing big change, not being like, well, your pain's, half, it was an 8, now it's a 7.5. And, oh, no, dude, let's see big change. And when you get really good at analysis, like through TPI, and if there's pain, the SFMA, when you get really good at that, you can make massive change in one day. And it's so damn fun.
Oh, it's so awesome.
Rewarding. I mean,
and I will say, Tom, part of our relationship is Tom treats me, so I have some goals for 2020 that I want to do for playing. A lot of golf pros, we don't actually get to work on ourselves, as much in our games, but it was a goal of mine. And so he said, all right, let's do it. And we have a plan in place. And once I'm to the point where I'm healthy enough and load and all of those things, then we're going to start training and working in the gym. And not only am I'm getting something out of sending all of these people to you, right? Other than the fact that my clients are coming back happy, which is in and of itself enough. Now he's like, well, let's get you to that point. And if you're a golf professional that you're helping or assisting or have that relationship, if they're improving their game and they feel better and they don't walk around hurting or losing distance or whatever it is, they're only going to speak more about you. Oh my gosh, I've been working with this and I've picked up 8 yards and my back doesn't hurt at the end of the round.
Yeah.
Like, hello.
I think there's a lot of people listening where they're like, I don't have the money to advertise, for example. I hear that a lot. But if you have the time or the ability, let's say you're busy because you already have a clinic up and going, but you can treat those. I mean, if somebody treated the 5 golf instructors on your team, and let's say I treat another 5 people from the clubhouse, right? So a total of 10 golf pros, right?
Right.
Over a year, how many referrals do you think they would provide into the clinic? Over 100? Easily?
I was just going to say over 100. Yeah.
Easily, right? Because
so myself alone, in 6 months, I've sent them over 20.
Yeah. And then we multiply that by, I mean, you're one of the busiest instructors I've ever met, but like, let's say at least 10, multiply that by the 5 instructors. And then all those people are walking through the pro shop. They're talking to the guys, they're paying for their rounds.
Right.
And if, they're going to ask, they're going to talk. And if you get people who couldn't bend over, I mean, what you hope for is the guy working in the pro shop that can't bend over to pick up a shirt or something.
Right.
And everybody saw him for a few months and now he's doing better. Boom.
Yep.
People, it's a social thing. It's a social environment and people are going to talk about that. And if those golfers that you work with go out with their buddies, they're out with their buddies for 3 or 4 hours talking about golf,
Right. So it's such a no-brainer. And you look at it, and if you do, I think treating the golf pro or whatever is maybe your loss leader, but it's not even that. It's a development. What your loss leader might be in trying to help these guys get some ideas would be like, hey, I'd love to do a day of assessments on your driving range for free, by the way. So people can sign up to come do an assessment. We'll put some advertising out, marketing through the golf course. And I will do these for free every half hour. Okay, great. Perfect. Go for it. I'll set you up a space, and maybe I'll even be there. Right. And cause these might be people that I don't know either. And so that's your loss leader. And I guarantee if you have 10 assessments, if you get one, but what that will do in referrals from that one person, again, it was a no-brainer for your afternoon.
That's awesome. Can you, as we wrap up, can you just talk about kind of how that class developed with you and Tom? Because I think that there's a lot of people who want that and
absolutely.
Maybe they want to participate or put one together in their local area because you guys are doing it from grass freaking roots. Like you don't even have a gym for a while, right?
Yeah. So I had previously worked with Janine Young. She was in town. She's a TPI, like from the ground up, TPI from the beginning class. And she has moved out of town. So I no longer had a relationship with, she's the fitness professional. And she and I would run some joint classes together as well. And so last year I didn't have anyone. She'd moved. And then this year, after meeting Tom, Tom's also has a background in strength and conditioning. So that's why it's also been a good relationship in that way. We did a Fit for Golf class, and we advertise it to help with flexibility, mobility, strength, and power. And we put an advertisement out. We had, I don't know, however many people sign up. So in it was a 5-week session that they could sign up for 1 day a week, 2 days a week, or 3 days a week, because, people's schedules and everything.
Sure.
And in a 5-week period, we brought in, literally we advertised it 2 weeks prior, didn't have a gym. We brought our equipment into my indoor facility. So you
no website, I'm trying to think of what everybody says. Oh, I don't have a website yet. I don't have a dedicated Facebook page.
We just pushed it out through the golf course, through our distribution list, just pushed out this flyer.
So emails.
And what?
Just emailing people.
Yep. And a lot of them were my students too, because I'm like, hey, like I want you in this, right? Like I think that this would benefit you. And we made $6,700 in 5 weeks, like super easy, and split that. And that was without a gym, right? So
right. I mean, Tom's just bringing in a couple dumbbells and bands that he has. You had some dumbbells and bands and balls. You guys were hanging TRXs from. Right. Essentially hitting water pipes, essentially, like everything and anything you could do. How was the response?
Is it ideal? Like, no, like there were some people in that class that, gosh, we wish we could have more because we could push that person more. And round 2, we've changed a few things, but we want to get it to the point where, we bring everyone in, everyone assesses based upon where you're at physically, you're in this, and we have these exercises for you. And that's long-term goal. But for right now, man, we're getting people are moving better. Like I have students that can go up and down the stairs without holding a rail because of this class. So
that's awesome.
So
you don't need like barbells to do a clean and jerk and some heavy back squats. Like these people need to move. And if there's weight added at the end, that's maybe a bonus. Right. Exactly. Yeah. And we, again, with the Coach Now app, they all wanted, so the warm up that we always do, right. That Tom has them do. I just recorded them doing it one time, and I can set up a team space. So I put Fit for Golf. I added all of them to it, posted the video, the warm-ups, and now they have it. So I was like, hey, so guys, when you go to the driving range, you have 5 minutes, don't hit balls, do these. They're like, okay, great. And now they have it at their fingertips. Yeah. So again, they walked away with something from Tom and I. That's awesome. That is awesome. So just start doing it. I mean, like there is so much out there for people if they want to build that practice. I think there's just so much opportunity out there that's just not getting tapped into.
No, yeah. And, if anyone has any questions about that, or if, they're in a different area of the country, please reach out though. And I can see if I know anyone in that area to connect them with. I'd be more than happy to do that. I think that the cool thing about, especially the golf industry, is there's enough business for everyone to go around, and we're all about connecting and making the relationships and finding the best fits. And I might not be the best golf coach for this person, but I'm going to try to go find and make sure that I find
to that point, one day that I was working with you, we had another golf pro come and see you, and he's like, look, I do this all day long. I teach hundreds of lessons a month, but I still want to see how I can get better. Right. And he's interested in competing. How's he doing, by the way?
Good. JT up north, he's and I'll give a shout out to him with Imperial Golf. He's up in Parkville. He's an awesome peer in the business, and he's not familiar with the TPI model, and not everyone is, and that's fine. And that's okay. He's still very successful at what he does, but I said, hey, I want you to come down and I want you to check this out and let me just show you what I'm all about. And he was like, oh my gosh, I had no idea, and so just the fact that I was able to open his eyes to something different, and he's willing to, we'll work on things together, and we'll probably run a joint class and help each other promote each other's businesses.
That's so good. Awesome.
Yeah.
Finally, how was that, you had that primary care doctor that when they come in? Super positive, super bubbly woman.
Oh, Jennifer. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
great. She's so great. She loved the class,
Good.
but she can't do this January session because of travel. She has a bunch of work, but she's super. Oh my gosh, she loved it. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. She was great having in there. She's just like such a positive person. It was overwhelming in that room how positive she was. I mean, she could light up the whole room. It was great.
Well, I mean, she always underestimates herself. Being a double boarded, she's an internist and pediatrician, double boarded, like bubbly, like she's just a rock star.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So that the great news is you get to be outside, work with clients, work with people with a known goal, and then you work with people who actually want to get better. So for all those people listening that are like maybe in a clinic where you're dealing with people in pain or something like that, where they may not have the motivation to get better, this is a wonderful area to work in.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Well, Maureen, we're going to wrap this up, but any last words of advice for those people listening? We got people that are, want to blend the clinic and the gym, and I'm telling them that model, it's not people think it's a new model. I think it's been around for a while, but it's certainly, I think it's the best model if they want to get referrals from somebody like you, right?
Absolutely.
How would you suggest? Go ahead.
No, I would just say, don't be afraid to go knock on some doors. Be persistent. And when I say knock on doors, ask, volunteer your services, but ask to watch that coach for a day, give some of your time so that professional can feel like you are invested. And don't be afraid of it. We're not intimidating people. Like we do golf for a living, right? We're pretty chill people. So go ahead, go do it. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to reach out to other people as far as mentors or other people in the industry, ask what they're doing, and always challenge yourself. So,
and in honor of Maureen, I would say reach out until you get a response of leave me alone. If you get no response, it means they were busy. Like just keep emailing or, be persistent. It's okay.
I tell my clients that I'm like, hey, keep emailing me. You're not like annoying me. You're literally just putting yourself back to the top of my inbox, and that's totally fine. Yep. And it's not for lack of me not wanting to do business with you. It's just like I said, that busyness. So that is another goal for 2020 for Maureen Olson Golf, though, is to be better about her response time. So maybe they'll be better this year.
Yeah, we'll cut it down from 6 months to 3 months, and we'll be on top of it.
Yeah, it'll be good. No, but please, like I said, reach out via social media or email or phone. I don't know if you can post that with this podcast, Josh. I'd be more than happy to help assist or answer any questions that any of these new young chiropractors have. I'd love to help them in their journey.
What's better for you, Instagram or Facebook?
Instagram.
Okay. So Instagram, and what's your handle?
It's just Maureen Olson Golf.
MaureenOlson. Okay.
And then golf. Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
Maureen Olson Golf out there in Kansas City. All right. Well, Maureen, on behalf of everyone listening, thank you very much for your time today.
Yep.
You were awesome. And this is Dr. Josh Satterlee saying, go out there, maximize your license, and live the life you dream of.
Thanks so much for checking out these videos. I hope they're useful. We'll cover things like rehab, exercise, business model, progressions, layout, everything else that helps you build a clinic. So if you're interested, you can click here, there, here, or anywhere to get more videos just like this. Thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you soon.